you a secret. Tattoo artists should not be your therapists. We are not your therapists. We are not a replacement. We are quite the complete opposite. Actually, the tattoo industry is quite toxic, actually, and that is why I created a coaching program, specifically for tattoo artists, because everybody's a little deranged, whatever. Nonetheless, this episode is not about that. This episode is about the fact that tattoo artists are not your therapists. And so I want to talk about that because at some point in my career, uh, for the past 3 years to be exact, I treated it as such because I was like, okay, so here was kind of the mindset behind it. Service provider. I come from a service industry background, meaning that I was a server for about 4 years or so and a bartender. And I understand the importance of a positive experience. Of course, I get it. And so I brought that in to my tattoo industry. However, somehow along the way, I naturally became a therapist. And I quit. I quit. I quit. So, and I'm so sorry if you're wearing headphones watching this. Now that I have a little more experience and wisdom, and I am a little more sane or insane to the societal norms, I suppose, because the more insane you are, the more normal it is, and the more sane you are, the more. What the fuck is that? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die here. I don't know why I came and I parked in such a weird place. What am I looking at right now? Oh. Whew. It was somebody in a wheelchair with a giant blanket all over the wheelchair and the person. So I was like, there's a giant ball floating with a dog attached to it. It was just a person in a wheelchair. Nonetheless, what was I saying? What was I talking about here? Somewhere along the line of my experience as not only a tattoo artist, but a mindset coach. And there is such coaching is a new industry, and so everybody's very confused, and I get it. So let's clear it up real quick. Therapists focus on the past and the present. Coaches focus on the present and the future. We're not therapists either. Tattoo artists aren't therapists, coaches aren't therapists. Therapists are therapists. Okay? Coaches are coaches, tattoo artists are tattoo artists. We're all different. Okay? So today I want to, well, share my experience, and I attract a lot of newer tattoo artists, which is both a blessing and a curse. Everything is a blessing and a curse, right? Everything has its pros and cons and whatever. But nonetheless, I've been attracting a lot of newer tattoo artists recently. And so if you are just starting out and you are watching this, you're not supposed to be a therapist for your clients. And if you're a client and you're watching this, you're not supposed to treat your tattoo artist like a therapist. We have two completely different job descriptions. And in fact, I believe that by treating art, or rather your tattoo artist, as a therapist, I think it dilutes the art and the artist itself. And let me further explain what I mean by that. So specifically tattoo artists, I can't speak for the rest of the art community because I'm not knowledgeable in other areas besides tattooing, the tattoo community. And even then I'm still a newbie. I'm still new myself, so I'm not super knowledgeable in this area either, but I have some experience and I have some wisdom that I can give. And there's a random another person walking their dog, and this is very awkward. Anyways, nonetheless, so I can only speak for the tattoo community, right? And ever since tattoos started, they were very much a kind of sacred activity in the regard and in the sense that people would use it for protection, medals of achievement for work. For example, tattoos started to get really popular when the military, specifically sailors, when sailors started traveling, went overseas to like China, Japan, Indonesia, and everywhere and anywhere but the US, right? They went places, and they went to these places and they saw these people painting on each other's skin. And in Polynesian cultures and all of these more pure tribal type of communities, were using tattoos as spiritual connection to the divine, whether that was past ancestors, a higher power, God, whatever specific form or way they had of describing that at the time. It was a spiritual connection between the body and the soul. It was also used as protection for warriors. When they would go to war, they would get tattoos to help them protect themselves from evil spirits or from any negativity, including death. And they use tattoos as these protective ornaments and these spiritually connecting ornaments. Again, they brought that idea over. Ed Hardy popularized the art of tattooing itself in Western culture. And when it came over to Western culture, sailors kind of put their own twist on it, and they used it as symbolism for example, if they traveled overseas, which was like this was very, you had to be a very special or specific type of human to be able to do this. Like, women weren't out there traveling across the seas, they were at home raising the kids, right? And I'm sure you had to be a certain age before you got on this boat and you traveled across the seas. But nonetheless, it wasn't for everybody. And so soldiers, or sailors rather, would get, for example, a swallow tattooed to represent that they traveled, or an anchor tattooed to remember to keep their feet on the ground and remember where they came from, and just anchor themselves to like their beliefs and their family, or their values, or whatever the case, the belief system was. So they always had this much deeper purpose than we have given them. When I say that using tattoos dilutes, or rather using tattoo artists or therapists dilutes the art of it, in my experience, I can only speak for my experience, right? I that's all I got. So, in my experience, for me, I notice that it is a lot harder for me to work efficiently and produce a solid piece. Not that I can't do it, because I've been doing it for the past 3 years, so like I can do it. But it's a lot more difficult. It fucking drains my energy. Like, when I listen to everything that the client has to say and ask them if I can give them advice and give advice, and quite literally become a therapist for that tattoo session, it's fucking draining, dude. Like, do you understand how difficult it is to be tattooing and focusing on the fact that every little mistake is there forever? And the fact that, for example, I specialize in large scale realism. So, for example, I have to focus on the fact that I have detail inside detail inside detail inside detail, and constantly go back and forth in between the reference picture and the image that I'm creating on skin, because that's what realism is. Realism is you take a photo and you recreate that photo to the best of your ability. You try to make it as realistic as possible. If I'm looking at a tree right now, that tree has like little textures on the bark, I'm going to do my best to tattoo little textures on the bark, because I'm going to try and make it as realistic as possible. Water break, because I'm running out of. Whoa! Whoa! My phone. Okay, can we just acknowledge the fact that the timing was fucking crazy? I said water break and my whole phone fell. Anyways, be right back. Um, I forgot I needed this. I'm so sorry. That was a really crazy angle, and I did not need to do that to you. However, I know some people will enjoy it, but that's not my OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans. However, I have been thinking about it because, like, what the fuck? Life is so fucking hard, and this girl really just became a millionaire selling feet pictures. They turned off the lights, so I think it's time to go. So, I'm gonna clip this on here, and you're gonna drive with me. I hope that's okay while I talk about this topic that nobody talks about for whatever reason. Everybody's fucking scared. What are you so fucking afraid of? What are you scared of? What are you scared of? I've been cursing a lot lately, and I don't know why, because I'm usually not one to curse, but they do say that smart people curse often, so I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but anyways, so nobody's talking about how. One moment, please. This is going to rub on my mic, but nonetheless, I always do this anyway, so. I just hate seatbelts. Ever since I was a little girl, dude, I would never wear a fucking seatbelt, and it was always a problem. And I remember I was, it's always been, oh, my mic just fell. This video is so chaotic. Like, I was like, I left my house, and I'm like, I'm gonna go record a video, guys, because I need some silence, and like, I don't live alone, so obviously it's not quiet. One second. We got it. We got the mic. Still working on it. 1 second. Bear with me. But clear. That's all I got. Dude, this jacket is so solid to clip my mic on. It's like, it's there. Sometimes I get shirts and they're too flimsy and I'm like, but this one's in there. And I like it. I like sturdiness. I like steadiness. Steady sturdiness. Imagine I just see somebody fucking running at me. Dude. And I caught it on 4K. That would go viral. But let's not do that, God, please, because that would fucking be terrifying. Even though we just drive off, whatever. What was I saying? That nobody talks about how tattoo artists should not be your therapists. Okay, but I was saying something else before that. I was saying that it's fucking draining to do it all. That's what I was saying. And that it's very difficult to produce. The sun is on, babe. It's very difficult to produce. This is called not giving a fuck. I'm driving with this thing on, and this thing on. Driving a 6-speed manual. People are staring, they're looking, and I don't give a fuck because I'm here to give you the information that you need. I was saying, it's fucking draining and it's very difficult to do both. And it dilutes the art because if I'm putting my energy on listening to the trauma dump and respectfully respected, we all go through things. I get it. I understand. It's okay. However, that is not the time, nor the place, nor the person to share that with. Can we stop normalizing oversharing also, since we're on this topic? Like, people really be, you know what, I've been guilty of that in the past, so I can even speak on that because I'm like, I genuinely been guilty of that. And I don't want to get pulled over, so I'm actually going to turn this off now that I'm going on an actual highway, and I will talk to you when I get to my studio. My phone's gonna die 10%. Oh, we're gonna have to do the remainder of this episode another time. No, we're not. We can do it. Come on. Got this. Okay. Treating your tattoo artist as a therapist dilutes their effectiveness as a tattoo artist. And now I understand that the tattoo artist, you as a tattoo artist, if you're watching this, you have the power of controlling the experience as well. So, for example, I used to be the tattoo artist that was part-time therapist. Like, I literally used to tell my clients, yeah, I'm a licensed tattoo artist, certified therapist. He ha ha. Bitch, what? No. And then now I got to a point where I realized that that is not serving my clients at all, nor my business, nor me, but especially not my clients. So I recently did the experiment. My last session, I have been working on this Japanese themed sleeve, and it's an entire sleeve inside and out, the whole thing connecting to the chest. And I told my client, I really want to be effective today and focus. Do you mind if I put my headphones on? He's like, no, of course not. Do your thing, whatever. I'm like, great. So I put my headphones on and I literally almost finished a full sleeve, like the outside, in a matter of 8 hours. Now, of course, my back was broken and I had to lay down flat for like an hour after. Well, I'm exaggerating, but it did hurt a lot and whatever. It's part of the job, I fucking guess. I go to the chiropractor every month to get that sorted, and I work out and I stretch, and I haven't stretched recently, but usually I stretch like 4 times a week at least. Nonetheless, I should be stretching every day, multiple times a day, actually. I'm gonna get out my. Ooh, I just got a lesson from my music teacher. That's exciting. I love. Anyway, I'm really goofy, but I'm also so wise and also elegant and also fucking goofy. And I don't get it, but you can be all things. I say that to let you know that you can be whatever the fuck you want. You can be all of it, all at once. Maybe not all at once, but you can be all of it. So, back to the point. Dude, I've been getting so sidetracked. But this is what this is for. Another little sidetrack. So, I have I have brainwashed myself into enjoying social media because it's quite literally part of my job. And I used to fucking hate it. I hated it. And I used to be the type of person that deleted my Instagram every like couple months, and then I would barely be on social media. And then I got this cute little business, and now this is part of my job. So I have brainwashed myself to enjoy it and have fun with it and do whatever the fuck I want. And here we are. However, that is not how I run neither of my businesses. I'm a very serious individual for both of my businesses. I take my crafts very seriously, my art and my coaching programs. However, I still have fun. You have to have fun. This is what life is about. It's about having fun. Don't take life so serious. Anyways, so yeah, I believe that treating your tattoo artist as a therapist really dilutes our ability, our effectiveness. I mean, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but I came to understand that for me, it really slows me down and it really reduces my ability to produce the fastest and most high quality work that I can. So, with that being said, get an actual therapist. The fuck? There's so much more that I want to say in this video, but my phone is gonna die. So I might make a part two. I am gonna make a part two because I want to post this like right now. I'm like, "Ooh, people need to talk about because nobody's talking about this, and it's such a cute hee hee ha 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 trend. I'm in need of therapy, so I'm gonna get a tattoo. Like, oh, and I saw this reel, and it was a whole video, and of course I unfollowed the account immediately after because the fuck, I'm not gonna dilute my energy with some toxic shit. So I saw this reel, and it was like, the clients that are things that clients say before they're about to sit like a rock. And it was like, I just got through a divorce. My family members just passed away. I'm dealing with anxiety and depression and all this like negative shit that just waltz in through the door to sit at the chair and fucking submerge yourself and your tattoo artist in your intoxicating negativity and trauma dump. And like, I get it, dude. I have been there. Obviously, I've done that. Obviously. And it doesn't fucking work because it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to cover up your actual internal issues with external quick fixes. You're supposed to go into the root problem, the root cause, and fucking figure out a solution for the problem, or just fucking do better, period. Like, that's part of being a human, is evolving. We wouldn't be humans, we wouldn't be creatures made by a creator if we weren't here to create and evolve. Like, they made an experiment of rats that were in different environments. A group of rats were in a volcanic rock situation, so the rocks were literally black, and the rats were white, and they would reproduce themselves until the little ratlings became black to protect themselves from eagles and like from the environment, so that they would blend in with the environment. And this is true with humans. Like, we evolve to protect ourselves and blend in with that environment for protection mechanisms. And so if you're constantly around toxicity, watching toxic shows, and I know you love your fucking CIA whatever mystery and murder series, but that shit is fucking keeping you stuck. That is literally, you're evolving into the environment that you create for yourself. If all the social media feed is memes, but they're toxic shit, even if it's just to be funny, it's still keeping you stuck. That's why you keep attracting those toxic men and the toxic relationships. And why does this keep happening to me? You're keeping yourself stuck in a cycle. That's a whole nother topic. Sorry, didn't mean to get that deep. Sorry, not sorry, because this is going to help somebody. And if I had this video when I was dealing with this shit, I probably wouldn't have listened because I wasn't ready till I dealt with it. Mm. There were other stuff that I came across that was very helpful, and it was very similar to this. So I am here to connect with you. And if it helps, good. And if it doesn't, I mean, I tried. But that's all I have to say. Thank you, I guess. I will definitely make a part two because I have so much more that I want to say, but my phone is literally like, "Meow, meow." So thank you for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you next time.